Imagine you're working as a data analyst for an e-commerce company. Your manager asks you, "We got some customers last month, but how many of them actually came back and purchased again in this month?" This sounds simple, right? But this is actually a very common business problem called customer retention. And today, I'm going to show you how to solve it using SQL in just few lines. Let's say we have an orders table with three important columns: order ID, customer ID, and order date. So let's have a look towards the data. Select star from orders, order by, created date, descending. Because here, okay, so you can see that we have data of orders having created date month of August, year 2026, and we also have July month data. Okay, and there are some customer ID has also been given. So our goal is to find the customers who purchased in the previous month and came back again in this month. Suppose our months are July and August. So out of the customers who purchased in July, how many customers have again purchased in the month of August? Okay, so let's find it using the SQL query. First, we will find how many customers have purchased in the month of July, and secondly, we will find the number of customers purchased in August, and then we will calculate the customer retention. We can find this directly using the orders table. So select from orders where created date between 2026 07 01 and 2026 07 08 01. We have to find the number of customers. So here we will use count function with distinct, because we need to find distinct number of customers. Distinct customer ID and previous month. Okay, previous month count. So we got in the month of July, we got 142 customers have purchased. Here you might wonder, why have I used the between function in the created date filter and not the month? That is, why did not I extracted the month from the order current date? This is because filtering using a proper date range is generally a better habit, especially when you are working with the large tables and indexes. So we have found the number of customers purchased in the previous month, but this is only half the problem. We need to check whether the same customers have been purchased in the current month also. So one simple way is using exist function. So let's find number of customers who have retained in this month using the exist function. So we have to just add here another filter and exists, and we have to use the same query. Okay, that is select one. So we just have to check the existence. That's why we can select anything. So select one from orders where created date between the 8th of the August to September. That is for the whole month of August. But the most important part comes here, and the customers purchased in the previous month and current month should also match, because we have to find the repeated number of customers. So let's name it as order 2 and the previous order as order 1. So O2, where O2 dot customer ID equals O1 dot customer ID. Okay, so let's run this. Oh, so here you can see that we have found that 64 customers have been retained in this month out of those who have purchased in the previous month. So number of customers purchased in the previous month is 142, and out of those 64 customers have retained in this month. The first part finds customers who purchased in the previous month, that is July. Then exist function asks, does the same customer have at least one order in the current month? In the month of August? Yes, we keep that customer. If no, we remove them. However, our main aim is to calculate the retention rate. So let's make this more interesting. So instead of just finding repeated customers, what if the manager asks what percentage of the previous month customers came back in the current month? So here we have to find the percentage. Okay. So that's where the retention rate comes in. Here the formula of the retention rate is retention rate equals returning customers out of total customers into 100. So the number of customers in the previous month would be considered under the total customers, and the number of customers purchased in the current month who have also purchased in the previous month would be a count of the returning customers, and we have to just calculate the percentage. Now let's calculate the retention rate of the customers. We will use the CT method with total customers as this is the previous query that we had total number of these customers in the previous month. Previous month customers retention customers as, okay, let's call it retained customers. Retained customers as this whole query so this is the count of customers in the previous month, this is the count of customers who have retained in this month, and now we have to find the percentage. So select from total customers. We can cross join it because both have one row and there is no relationship between the first and the second query, so we can join them using the cross join method. So cross join this. Okay, let me show you how the data will look here. See, so the previous month number of customers were 142 and retained customers in this month is 64. We just have to calculate this percentage now using the formula of the retention rate. So previous month by, so this is the total number of customers. Let's call it as total customers. Okay, total customers. In select clause, this is not the name of the table, but it is name of the columns that we have used. Total customers, retained customers into 100 as retention rate. Let's change the data type to numeric. Yes, see. So we have got around 45% of the customers that have retained. So this shows that out of the customers who have purchased in the previous month, 45% of the customers have retained, and that is called customer retention rate. Customer retention rate. Okay. We can also round up this value. So for that, we can use round function. Round up to the 2 decimal places. Okay. So in this way, you can calculate the retention rate of the customer. So it is around 45%. So this is much more useful business insight than simply saying that we had 142 repeated customers. Now let me tell you why is this metric important? Because getting a customer once is only a part of the story. A company might have 1 lakh new customers, but if only 5% ever return, there could be a serious problem like product experience, pricing, customer service, delivery, marketing, or customer engagement. That's why data analysts don't just look at the sales. We also look at the customer behavior over time. And retention is one of the most important metrics for understanding that behavior. Okay, here is one challenge question for you. Can you modify this question to calculate the retention rate for customers who purchased in July and came back in September? So don't just change one date. Think about how you would structure the logic. If you found this useful, subscribe for the more practical SQL problems based on the real world data analyst scenarios.